Hey guys, we got a great interview today. Hannah Dam Dasher from Savannah, Georgia. Singer-songwriter, excellent performer. You might know her from Stand By Your Pan on TikTok. But we're old friends and we're going to be talking today on Every Damn Friday. Thank y'all so much for listening. All right, guys. I got Hannah Dam Dasher in the house.
Hey, hey,
Look, I even wore my Trans Am hat just for you.
choo. That ain't one of mine. I love
No.
it.
Hey, so Hannah, for those of y'all that don't know her, it's Hannah from Savannah. She's from Georgia. She's played with Skinner. She's played the Opry. Your mom probably and your dad probably follow her on TikTok. But she's an old friend, and we haven't got to cross paths very long. She's 5'5", standing flat footed, but with her hair fixed, she's about 6 foot tall. Hannah Dam
Oh,
Dasher,
good
how you
call.
doing?
Anyway, hey man, good to see you. I mean, your mama or your hairdresser, your young gay hairdresser probably follows me too. I mean, let's
You're
let's be
right.
real.
You're
And your
right.
nasty old daddy on Facebook, I've been getting some messages.
Like, hey, can you send me a recipe?
Oh,
Oh Lord. Well,
Lord.
we'll get into Stand By Your Pan here in a minute, but so Hannah, we met. It's been quite a few years ago. I was doing some songwriting visits, and I think my PR company, Mark, hooked us up, and we didn't get a damn thing done because we just sit and hung out and visited the whole time. You were house sitting for somebody or something. Do you remember that time of your life?
Yes and no. I thought I met you through like Jericho Woods. I don't remember writing with
Oh
you.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember us
for
meeting maybe
sure.
like at Neighbors or something
Oh yeah. Well,
with
and
Aaron Ray Tierra and some of those guys. I feel like that's the
that
first time I met
the
you.
whole bunch. I actually just did one of these with John Deschus the other day.
Oh, Dacia. There we go. Living single in a double wide world.
Oh yeah. Well, and 4x4 by you is on the radio too. So I think he's feeling pretty good by himself right now. I told him, he said, you better keep writing.
Well, the Kentucky boy. Yeah, I
Oh
just
yeah.
read him last week at the or week 2 weeks ago at the Outlaw thing. So that was cool.
So Hannah, she's got 176 followers on Facebook, 176,000, 188,000 followers on the gram, and 1.6 million followers on TikTok. Um, that's that's a lot, Hannah.
That's sweet. Well, I'm grateful for that. If I can ever, get uncensored and get them engaged, they don't like what I send in my private messages.
I saw you're on Cameo too, which is hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. I get good gas money, man.
I was gonna say I'd say you probably do get a few of those.
Yeah,
So
I do. It's
so
fun. I get a lot of birthday. Got to sing a lot of H to the D M to the D's and redneck ass and
there you go. I
yeah.
love all that. So you were in Kentucky this past weekend,
We
right?
were in Kentucky and we just missed. We were in London actually, so we just or
Oh,
not London. Where were we? Georgetown.
Georgetown, yeah.
Anyway, but we'll be in London for the Chicken Festival. The end of the month and then coming to Louisville to do Zanzibar. But anyway, I'm sorry about that shooting, but how badass those truck drivers gathering around that school bus.
Says you ain't
You know,
doing nothing, these kids. Yeah,
I love it.
it's
But
I
that's
still don't know if
they
they've got
put
it
them in
all
the rocking chair.
at the time of this recording. I still don't know if they've got that guy, if they found him or not, but I'd say when they do, they'll tar and feather him, I imagine.
Lord, well, I mean, good,
Yeah.
good. But yeah, tickled to be on the road promoting um the last record I just released, last record I released, the Epidemic Half, and gearing up to record the new one. Well, the live album.
Yes.
That includes some
Chiefs,
new
right?
music on it. Yes, November night at the Neon Steeple. Eric Church has just opened a big venue in Nashville. It's like a 3 or 4 story bar, and it's got a venue with church
Separate from the
pews, and
bar.
it's a huh?
So it's like it's on one of the floors, kind of separate from just going into the
It's
regular bar
separate from
part.
yeah. Yeah, like Ray Wiley Hubbard's played there. Eric is doing 19 shows there this year, and I did their 4th of July
Okay.
special. And so they wanted us to come back, and so I'm playing another show. I'm going to do my album recording show, live album recording there,
You're gonna record it all at one time, or will
all
you
at
do it in
once,
one
boo,
show? Huh? That's the
all at
hope.
once.
Yep. Everybody.
Ain't no fake shit except
There you
maybe
go.
in my hair.
So tell me about growing up. I did my research and know some stories, but so growing up in Georgia, You just knew you was gonna be a country singer, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you grow up listening to the country radio from the early '90s, and or I'd say I caught the very tail end of the '80s. But I mean, my parents loved Keith Whitley and Clint Black and George Strait, and Alan Jackson was just coming on the scene, Vince Gill, things like that. Dwight
I
Yoakam, Ricky Van Shelton, what Travis Tritt. I mean, what
Oh
is
my god.
not to
Yeah.
love about all that? And
I remember
Dave's
riding the
River Band.
school bus. I
Huh?
got in I remember riding the school bus, and I had a buddy, and we had, like, a little Walkman that we would share, and we would sing along with Randy Travis or Keith Whitley, or I mean,
Yeah.
that's all we
Uh,
did on the whole bus ride was sing country music, never thinking at that moment, that I didn't have any idea that I would perform later on, but it's just something that we did.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, when you grew up like that to me, and you had that as a standard, um, as hooky as that stuff was, it obviously lit a fire under me. And so yeah, as soon as I got out of college at the University of Georgia, don't hold it against me.
No, it's
Um,
fine. You're getting ready to this is before the Kentucky Georgia game, so you're getting ready to whip our ass next week. We didn't beat
well, I
them.
know, but that's literally like asking Taylor Swift to enter a singing contest with Aretha Franklin. You know what I mean? It's not fair.
Well, basketball season will be here soon enough.
We, there's what would make me sweat a little bit.
Mhm. So
Anyway, but yes,
what'd you
I
do
mean,
at Georgia? Or
I
what
caught the bug, moved to Nashville, uh, signed a publishing deal within a year of being here at BMG. Same guy that signed Zach Top signed me to my first publishing deal. And then
he's a
those
killer too.
Oh, Zach's great. Yeah, love him.
Hey, so tell
He's
me about
trouble.
college though. So what'd you go to college to do?
I went to college for I because my parents told me I had to.
I did that.
That's yeah, and so Daddy wanted me to find a rich husband, but I wasn't pretty enough to do that
Oh, hush.
at the time. Well, we got to grow in our looks. But I majored in public relations, and I was a double major in PR and music business.
Well, that's
And I studied some Spanish as well too, que bueno.
yeah,
But I'm
bien.
very rusty. Anyway, but yeah, I just wanted to make music for a living somehow, be in the music industry. And
Do you think all that your degree and all that has definitely come in handy? I mean,
in many ways, absolutely. There wasn't really any training on the creative side of things, but they always taught us to be a good hang, to bring it as far as talent goes and be a good hang. The Pro Tools classes were over my head because I'd never been in a studio environment before. I didn't know what exactly we were doing. After being in Nashville, it you know it would behoove me to go back through those classes now that then I could actually do it easily and know what I'm doing.
right.
Um, anyway, work in the studio. I mean, I have an ear for that stuff, but as far as the mechanicals of it,
You can
it
produce, but
yeah, I'm dating myself, but yeah, or aging myself. But like Pro Tools was like brand new when I was in college.
I'm probably older than you, so it's fine.
I was born in the late '80s, so '89.
I was born 10 years before that. So
There you go. Well, there you go. So
right,
probably you're like
right at the
probably what would
end
you?
of 79.
I'm due for some Botox
Oh,
and
hush.
and
Uh,
I know my house looks like a meemaw and I cook like a meemaw, but I'm really an old soul. I'm thirsty. You mind if I crack open a beer? I
do
know
your
that.
thing. I got some tea right here in my green cup, so
Well, I mean, I'm out of I don't trust the water in the system anymore.
I do love your kitchen. So that's the kitchen.
Yeah, this is my little stand by your pan. It's so tiny.
It's perfect.
It's tiny. I'm fixing to make some apple butter. You want some?
If you'll put it in a jar and bring it with you,
Well, you know I
Louisville.
will. Yeah, we'll bring you a jar. Anyway, and look at this cute little apron I found in Texas. I was on the road, and we got actually about to head back to Texas. We got Travis Tritt, and we're headlining the State Fair in Dallas. That's a big
Oh
weekend. I'm really
man,
excited about all that. Look at that.
they're gonna love Hannah Dam Dasher in Texas. Everything about you is big. That's perfect for Texas. Big sound, big attitude.
Good. Well, I've always been healthy, Josh, and so I've, worn bell bottom pants for probably 10 years because they compete with the width of my thighs. And I love Elvis Presley a lot. So big collared shirts, just really do it for me. And glasses, I love Elvis glasses. And I tell them I've launched a sunglasses line. Now everybody asks where they can get these sunglasses, but this is the Hannah Dam Dasher
Oh
line.
really?
Catch your teeth. Yeah, they can get sunglasses now.
You are an entrepreneur, aren't you?
Well, about all that, I'm just
Well,
getting good at barely getting by.
well, but don't you have to like diversify now? I mean, like you need
Well,
multiple streams of revenue.
I don't think it's a matter of having to. I just think it's a matter of if I could humbly say, you know, God just made me eclectic.
And you're creative. And you're not.
And I guess I'm more of a brand than just an artist. I mean, there's he knew there's more than one way to skin a cat, and I'm never going to fit into a certain mold.
Well, don't you feel like? Because I was going to ask that question. I mean, we can talk about Stand by Your Pan. I I wondered, does it detract from the musician part of you, or does it? I mean, it checks out. I mean, you are that person, so it's not like you have two personas.
The only thing it takes my time, but Stand by Your Pan, I think was the best thing gift God could have given me, because it went viral during such a divided time, and our nation is so divided. I'm not getting political, but just to
Right.
be, but
Yeah.
I mean, but think about it, but we can all agree on chocolate cake. We can all agree on fried pork chops,
Yes.
and so
crock
it's
pot cooking and all that.
so uh so when you go to my show now, I've been censored for 4 years, so only like less than a tenth of my following can even see my posts on TikTok. But when you go to a Hannah show, you see hippies, rednecks, gays, blacks. I mean, it's a very eclectic audience, and I haven't experienced that except for like at the Dixie Chicks or at a Reba concert.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Did this all start through COVID? I mean,
yeah, it did. It did. I mean, but the comments are, I don't like country music, but I love this, or I quit listening to country music. But I'm loving this, and so I think it's been great to bring fans over to my music, to bring people to my shows, whether they listen to the music or not. They're coming to the show to see what I got on, and then they leave fans of the music.
right.
And it's a win-win.
Well, and I said that about moms and dads following you. I mean, like I tried to get Hannah at the barn last year. It didn't work out. But I remember telling somebody about it, and they were like, "Who is that?" I'm like, Stand by Your Pan. She's like, "Oh my God, I've been following her forever." And I was like, "Yeah." So she's a great artist too. You need to go listen to her music. So I think it's neat that you have all that stuff. And then the fashion is its own thing.
It is kind of all over the place, I reckon, but it all works together into one little melting pot that is me.
And you're right. You are a brand, and I think you have to think about it that way. I don't. We all want people to see our art on its own merit, but you also have to put it in a position to where people can get it. And I don't think you've taken anything away from your art by doing all the things that you're doing. It's building it up. So it's not a gimmick. It's just you're actually.
No, it's just me. Well, you know what?
Sharing all that stuff.
I try to decorate this house there's 1971, 72 Pioneer fires, and I've got pieces that belong to Waylon and Hank, and I've got Loretta Lynn's Pyrex in my kitchen. You know what I mean? Like at Tuesday night in Nashville in 1965, Loretta was, fixing dinner for Dew and then headed to the Opry to sing. You know what I mean? And that's all I've ever wanted to be.
Right.
And dude, is having a family and fixing, maybe not kids, but fixing dinner for my dessert.
Life, yeah.
And then and heading off to the Opry, and I'll be at the Opry this week singing with Daly and Vincent.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So how many times have you got to play the Opry now?
Oh, 10 or 11. Not enough, but
so everybody that was in Jericho Woods except for me had played the Opry, and I've never got to play it. And I thought I was going to get to one time, and it didn't work out. And so
really?
I'm so jealous of everybody who's gotten to do it. It's such an honor.
Goodness. Well, I mean, I'm the wrong color nowadays and the wrong orientation to get regular on there, but did I say that out loud? I was told in so many words if I was a lesbian or, darker that I'd get to do it more regular.
Well,
I love the institution, and my God, I mean, it's what pulled me to Nashville. I watched the Opry every weekend with my grandparents growing up, and you remember that the Statler Brothers show came on after that? Was it on TNN or something like that? or the
Oh
Crystal
man,
Dale or Sattler or something like that. The one with the
you
long
probably
hair.
grew up watching Hee Haw.
Yeah, I watch Hee Haw reruns. Lord, of
Oh
course
my
I
god.
did.
Well,
Love all that.
so when we were getting to know each other, you were doing a lot with Jaron
Yeah.
Johnson. How did that relationship start? With same publisher or?
I was well, that publisher set me up on a right. Well, that publisher and I I don't know if your fans or your listeners know like what ASCAP and BMI and all that stuff is, but anyway, his the lead singer's wife worked for ASCAP and became my writer's rep there and had me do like a little showcase, and she was a fan and she brought him out to watch me. And he did, and he loved me, and he literally got up on stage with me and was like, there's something about this chick, like y'all. It was so cute. Anyways, and he and I went and wrote a song, and it became the title track of a record that we made. And we took that record to Sony Music Nashville, and RCA Sony, signed me. And I was there during COVID, and it was such a weird time, for music and music business. But I'm very grateful for that opportunity. I don't know what to compare it to because I had never been at another label. And I'm happy to talk about more about that in detail. But yeah, but Jaron saw something in me, and he was the first artist, the only artist that's really taken me out on tour consecutively.
Jaron is the lead singer of Cadillac 3, for those y'all who don't know. And
Yes.
for my Kentucky listeners, they play in Louisville quite a bit, and
Oh, they do?
yeah, they play the Mercury Ballroom up here a lot. It seems like once a year they'll be up here. So I got a lot of folks around here that like them.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're rock and roll. I mean, it's Jaron gave me my first, really my first Telecaster, my first electric guitar. And he said, "Here, learn it. I believe you got the chops to do it." And he signed me to my second publishing deal over at Sony Music Publishing, where I still am today. And he's actually my technically one of my publishers. So yeah, but I
Yeah, keep
love
saying
him.
good stuff about the boss.
Do what?
I said you got to keep saying good stuff about the boss man. Then
Oh goodness, well, he don't keep up with me. He's so busy, but I do love him and those Cadillac Three guys, and I'm so forever grateful for them. Sharing their platform with me to shine some light on me because artists just don't do that anymore. And hell, I was just preaching Zach Top's name the
yeah.
last 2 years, like this boy is something, and
Oh
I
my
was trying
God.
to invite his wife to Bible study, and of course now he's not married anymore. He told me, I said, "Oh well, thank you, Jesus."
Well, but you're right, because I had a kid from Georgia, and you might know who I'm talking about. Jonathan Payton was on here,
No, I don't
and
know.
him and his wife Abigail are just the cutest little singing duo. But Zach Bryan took them out, and
Oh, that's
they got to play
awesome.
Red Rocks. They got to do all these things, and we were talking about that. That it really, when I was doing the music thing, like that was kind of the deal. Like the William Morrises of the world and people like that were like, I can't really just put you on people's shows. Like they have to want to bring you with them, or you
Oh,
have,
100%, a
or you have
hundred
to have the
percent,
same manager. You have to be on the same label. Like it was so much of that. Uh,
always. Yeah, it definitely works that way. And it's so competitive. I mean, Old Crow Medicine Show's taking me out here in October, but I mean that's just uh, it's a show in Georgia, which I think Southeast Georgia, is the hardest market, I believe, to crack. It's a very top 40 driven market. Georgia and Florida, they say.
in Atlanta's has such an impact
Atlanta's
on the rest of
awesome
the state.
market for me. Um, Atlanta and Athens are really good markets for me personally, but South, uh, South Georgia, like the 229
Yeah.
area code, your Albany, like where your Luke Bryans and Cole Swindles are from, like all that kind of area is very, very hard. They're very top 40 driven. If it's not on the radio, they can't tell you who Old Crow Medicine Show is. They can tell you the song Wagon Wheel, but they can't tell you,
Well,
they couldn't tell you a Tyler Childers song, if that makes
well,
sense.
and that's the purpose of the show that I do here at the barn, and even this is just like, you know, I finally got some people. The people who come to the shows here trust that whoever I bring is going to be good. They don't have to. The first time it was like, who is this? I've never heard these songs before. I'm like, but I promise you they're good. And then and just opening up that whole box of, turn the radio off, you know, go to Apple Music and type in an artist and let let that, or go to a playlist, or look at Whiskey Riff, or look at some of these things that where they're showcasing some independent folks, and stretch it out a little bit, like
You got a
expand.
badass venue there, man. It's badass. Who all you been bringing out?
Well, I had Cole Chaney the first time. I've had the Paul Rammond Boys here, bluegrass band. Let's see.
Yeah.
I had a guy named Laid Back Country Singer, or Country
Yeah.
Picker, Tyler Childers, old high school teacher. He takes him out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Wilder Blue was here last year.
Yep.
Just trying to get as much variety as I can. I've got Chris Knight coming in the spring, and
Hell yeah, that's huge.
just just
Little victories.
yes. Oh my God. But just trying to bring some people to out to see people that they wouldn't normally see, and then letting those artists get to kind of crack into a place like it's what you're talking about, where they listen to top 40 radio because that's all they can get. And there's no NPR station or Americana station or anything like that. It's
Yeah, it's wild. Like Blackberry Smoke is not big down there, and
like, why not?
I I know, but it's like holy cow.
Charlie's
But
he's like the baddest thing in Georgia.
they are the best. They're North Georgia, they do well, but South Georgia crickets. So
Huh.
all that to say, I thank people like you for shedding light on those of us that are left to center
Well,
musically.
I don't know. Those are the people though who are breaking ground, and who are being unique and authentic. And they're in the towards the end of Jericho Woods' run, there was a whole lot of that playing dress up, which people would get their nudie suits, and they were and that was frustrating to me. And then people that were kind of pretend playing 90s country music, and now it's like people like Zach are young enough that it's nostalgic. It's and even you are young enough that it wasn't like you discovered this music when you were little. It wasn't just like, okay, what am I going to do to
The
what's
chase
the
the
next thing
trend. Yeah.
what's the next thing we got to do to try to jump on this? Um, and if you don't ever jump on that train, then you could have longevity, because eventually somebody will find you, and you'll find your tribe.
Well, I've bought and bought for pedal steel in my music for years, and I was told for years you're too country for country. That was during the bro country phase, that was forever. And then it was, well, you're too rock and roll for country. Um and I begged and pleaded to get some pedal steel in my music, because I said, I don't care if it's in or not, I believe it's coming back. It's what makes me, it's what turns me on. And if it makes me feel like a badass, then I'm going to put it out. I'm not going to sing it if it doesn't. And anyways, but I think that the struggle for me has been, I've never had the drummer in the studio that I've needed. I've had talented guys, but drumming is important. I think that's why but because some drummers are stiff and some drummers are loose, and everybody's got different styles. And I travel with a black gospel rhythm section, because I like greasy, fat soul with its honky tonk rock and roll. It's kind of
Waylon's drummer was so unorthodox
with pedal steel.
But it was almost like disco beats in some ways, without it was it.
But the studio here in Nashville, like I've always, the publishing, the label, they've always kind of pushed me through that machine.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. And I had to take what I was given, basically. And I never agreed on, I love the drummers that have been on my records as people, and I think they're very talented, but it's a dating game, and it's never been right. And so it's always been a fight and a struggle, and having to spend so much money to overdub parts on the aftermath to try to get it. Everything's just so stiff and nothing grooves like it ought to.
They literally look at the chart and go, what's the BPM of this? All right, let's go. And they do
as opposed to, but now that and plus I wasn't out on the road with a band yet. I didn't have any dates to get out and play it like I wanted to. And now that I have for the last year, in 2 years, we've locked in a pocket and a rhythm, and it's greasy and groovy and great and fat. And
if you don't have a deal, that means all you need is studio time, and you go knock it out.
Yeah, $100,000. There we go.
Yeah. That's why I'm recording things in my shop here at home nowadays.
well, it's badass looking. I mean, I saw those records on the wall. You got
Oh yeah.
look at your
It's
guitar amps. There's all those old yellow Fender amps behind
oh
you
yeah.
there.
You know, that's what
Those are
happens
expensive. Those old tweed amps.
when you're not touring. You can they just stack up and they become decorations. So
Man, oh man, they're beautiful. Well, here's a that's my budget can afford right there, a little mini.
champagne taste, beer budget.
That's right. I love that. No, I'm grateful to employ. I got 5 or 6 employees now, and that's band members and crew or whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm small, but I'm so grateful to be able to do that without
Well,
major radio play, without any management, without a label. I have an awesome booking agent.
you with
Yeah,
Atomic? Is that what I?
yep. Atomic's got me and Jesse Daniels and like Alex Williams and my buddy Ellis Bullard's over there too. He's a hoot and a half.
That,
Just
that sounds like a pretty good lineup to me.
yeah. Well, we did do it, and Pedal Still Noah also as well. I don't know if
Okay.
you're following.
Yeah, we were with Atomic for just a minute. That came out of a trip to Austin one time.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Man, I haven't seen y'all in live in a minute, but I remember meeting you guys and y'all are always just so funny. And who was the lead singer?
It's me.
How was you? Is it you talking to me about going bass fishing or something one time?
Yeah. That was, we were like you though. Like we didn't really fit into any kind of, like we didn't, I don't know.
I
Nashville
remember y'all
was,
were buddies with Kyle Daniel. I think
oh
some
yeah.
other guys and
And your buddies with like Brent Rupert and that crew. So
Josh London. Oh yeah, having songwriting success. Yeah, Brent. They were gonna go out with Larry Fleet.
yes,
That's
I
awesome.
saw that.
My Muscadine boys are going out with
Oh
Post
my
Malone. I'm
God.
tickled with them. Isn't that great?
They just like, man, like, and they're one of those groups too. Like that, they are proof that Hannah, damn Dasher, you got to keep doing what you're doing because, like, they're all. I mean, they're independent.
Self-made. Oh, they have been such an inspiration to me. I love them. They sent me a sweet little message today. Like we just have so much love for you, girl, and I love them back. And I'm like, shit, when y'all blow up, take me out, But
yeah, no kidding.
I
But
didn't ask for that. But
that is how
anyway,
that happens.
they are darling, and their wives, or Charlie's wife Mallory hits me up all the time. They're just the sweetest and very supportive of what I do. And yeah, I think they're great.
I mean, I think that there's with everything that's happening, and like, and with social media the way it is too, like there's a band here locally about 20 minutes away from me that didn't even have enough songs to play a full show, but they blew up on TikTok. Old 60. And hell, they opened up for Zach Bryan in Atlanta a couple weeks ago. It's just like, so with all that, you kind of have, like, you all are building this army outside of the Nashville machine that, I mean, it doesn't take but 2 or 3 of you all to kind of, kind of take off and then start pulling each other with you. Then you don't need it,
That's right. Well, I mean, that's what you need. That's what you need. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I feel like my peers are kind of blown up around me, if you will, and I'm getting some mailbox money. They're
Yeah.
cutting songs they've made careers off music I've written, and I'm tickled for that. I probably got a couple Grammys on the shelf, but it's not anything that shit doesn't mean anything to me. I just I set out to do this.
Well, so now do you consider, are you more of a songwriter or a performer? Like it?
I'm an entertainer, Hoss.
Okay.
I mean, yes, I'm still under contract. Sony, have I met quota the 6 or 7 years I've been there? Hell no. but what I turn in, I try to
Make sure it's quality.
Like good stuff. Yeah. And that's just kind of the agreement that we have worked out. And Josh Falkenberg is just so good to me over there. And I just met his daddy-in-law at the Opry. I was so excited. Vince Gill. I had never met Vince Gill, and I was just, I was there.
Hey.
Like, Jamie, Darren Vincent of Daily Vincent was like, "Hey, Vince is back here. He wants to meet you." I'm like, "No shit." I thought it was just that, just being nice because, poor Hannah, she lost her record deal a couple of years ago. Let's just, that's where I am in my head. Anyway, and I walk in the hallway and he goes, "Well, hey, Hannah Dasher," and I'm like, oh, "How do you know?" Because everyone knows who you are. And anyway, he just took time. It was as sweet as it could be. And he said, I'm depending on you to carry that torch forward, girl. Like, your country music.
Yeah.
And that just meant the world, to me. And he approached us later and with my posse that I was with and had like lemonade with us in the middle and just shot the shit with us. And
Cool recognizes cool. Like he knows what's up. He knows you're real.
Well, it's so oversaturated, and it was a as soon as uh, it's been so freeing, Josh, to let go of the Nashville machine and to quit following the rules. And I wear this scarlet letter like a Letterman jacket. Now I'm proud of it. I'm proud of my independence. I'm grateful for it, and I think it's a cool way to go.
Well, I, I mean, how many people have you seen come and go that have tried to blend in? I mean, that's the opposite. That's the opposite thing to do. Like, don't do what somebody else did.
No, no, no. You're exactly right. I mean, I don't. I mean, I think the world's ending in several years, but at the same time, I have to realize as a musician that I'm just a tool in the big toolbox that is God's toolbox. That I'm not trying to be all religious and preachy on you, but I just this is as musicians we're a part of something a lot bigger than ourselves, and we do more than get people drunk at night. Our songs have to leave people in a better place than we find them.
Well, and I think too, as a creative person, which you are, it's like you're once you make something, like you're already over it and on to the next thing. Like, my dad couldn't believe when I quit teaching to play music. He said, I don't understand why you would put yourself in that position. You have all this stability and all this stuff. But towards after 2 or 3 years, he was like, I don't understand it. But he said, I see what's happening. Like you
Mhm.
have to make something new every day. And I'm like 100%. Like I don't know. It's like I'm just piling up a big bunch of shit before I die. I don't know, but you just you're constantly striving for the thing that makes you. Maybe we got a big hole in us that we're trying to fill up. I don't know, but I think that when you're a creative person, you're constantly trying to figure out who you are and what it is that makes you happy. And you hope if you ever get in a place where you are now, where you can do the thing that absolutely, like, you're 100% passionate about, like, that's when you start reaching people. Um, you know,
Yeah,
Me
yeah.
writing a song that sounds like every other song on the radio, I'm not gonna. You're not
Oh,
gonna break
that
through.
is hell no, 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 no. I mean, the song the woman I'm releasing next, the song called "Wanted," and it's the title track of the live album. It's called "Wanted," the live album, and that we're recording November the 9th. And the song comes out 2 weeks before that. But the first line is "I don't want to be an outlaw,"
I
which is
I
which is
saw that, and you'd hashtag that or something. I wondered
well
what that
that
was
well,
about.
the name of the tour that I'm on right now is "I don't want to be an outlaw" tour. Um, but I don't want to be an outlaw, long lost country music lost cause. But the truth needs saying and the rules need breaking and the radio keeps playing the bullshit. I don't want to be an outlaw, but if the boot fits, course drop. It's a great
Yeah,
song. Um, but I just that's what I'm embracing. I mean, it's just me, and I always have. And I
you're not
think that
trying to be an outlaw. You're trying to play country music, and it just happens to position you into that place.
well, without being robbed of my creativity,
Yeah.
it's very competitive, and I've had to put blinders on, and quit worried about who's watching and who's copying this and who's doing that. I mean, because the devil will distract you with all of that mess. Um, you know what I mean? And
And
who's telling my
comparison's the
jokes
thief
every
of
day?
joy, they say.
Yeah, yeah, he's the thief of joy.
Mhm.
Anyway, uh, but I'm enjoying making music on the road with people that I love, and now I'm cooking recipes that also make me money.
Let's
Working on a
talk.
big
So
cookbook.
so people want stuff. So you've got a cookbook, right?
No, I'm working on it. I'm not allowed to announce that yet, but I got my manuscript that was due a week ago. We just turned in the last of the recipes.
Mhm. So maybe by the time so this will I think this will be
No,
airing right before you play in Louisville,
right,
uh,
all right. Yeah, so I
the end of
can't announce the
September.
cookbook until next year.
Okay, so the people can expect that to be there. Are you at hannahdasher.com?
Yeah, hannahdasher.com, and Hannah Dam Dasher is my TikTok, and just yeah, Hannah Dasher on Facebook, Hannah Dasher on the Instagrams. Uh, yeah,
So people, like, you can stream her music. You're
yeah.
That's not really helping her as much as if you go and buy it. Do you have stuff on vinyl?
I will. I don't yet. That's $12,000, honey.
Believe me, I know. I did a run of 100 just to have of my last record, just to have a record, and it was a lot. You have to sell a lot of them to make that work.
Time of day. Yeah, 500 is like $6,500.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Um,
crazy. Um,
yeah.
but anything Hannah they can find on the interwebs.
Yeah,
And
by all means, buy the song license or just honestly, just to see me live is to get it. So just come to a live show,
and
and
for
if
my
I'm able to
Kentucky
do a venue,
folks, she's going to
yeah,
be at
Bridgeport
Zanzibar and
with the
Louisville.
Roots. Yep,
That is September the 27th.
7th. Yeah, we're at the Fried Chicken Festival. Lord, I want to catch the Colonel Sanders competition. I hope that.
It is pretty good. It is pretty.
God,
So she's gonna be at Chicken Fest. She's gonna be at Zanzibar. She just was at Georgetown for the Festival of the Horse. So she's around. All you guys got to do is look for her and come see the damn show because she's electric. She's a great guitar player. She's got a kick-ass band, and she's the real deal.
I appreciate
A lot
that.
of people say that about a lot of people, but you're the same. You're the same girl. You were worried about your hair the day we met, and here you are. You got what does it say? Closer to God, isn't that what Dolly says?
I guess I don't know. The higher the hair, the closer to. I have no idea. I had to bless it, but yeah, good for her. Yeah, she just sent me a cookbook.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Lord, it's like 4 recipes for mashed potatoes in it. I'm like, hell, I don't need that, but I appreciate it. Good for her.
Well,
I've actually never met her, but I'm glad I met you, and I can't wait to see you at the Zanzibar. Tell them who's opening the show for us.
so yours truly, Hannah's generous. Uh, we were supposed to play with you one time. One of our last shows that we had on the books before COVID hit was playing with you at in Lexington at Austin City Saloon.
Oh yeah, Austin Shitty. We're gonna be playing that. Dadgummit, I love that place. I've only been for my Dylan's wedding reception. I never played it
Yes.
before.
Well, but we had a wreck on the way to Lexington. Our trailer flipped and all that kind of stuff, so that didn't work out. The day we had to write, we didn't write a song. I was trying to get you at the barn last spring, and that didn't work out. So we finally get to play together, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Hey, well, I'm tickled that you made time, and I'm sorry I missed that message too. My phone's been blowing up. I apologize, but
That's what happens when you're a big deal.
I ain't no big deal. Shush. I'm just, and we're friends, and you still as handsome as you ever were.
Even with the white beard.
Yeah, well, I hardly recognize it. You used to have black hair, right?
Yeah, well, I could shave it off and look about 10 years younger, but it's a hot boy fall right now, so I got to get ready for deer season.
By God.
Well,
Well,
Hannah, thank you so much for spending some time with me, and folks, y'all go find her on everything. Download all of her stuff, buy some sunglasses, and get tickets to the next show because you won't be disappointed.
well, I appreciate you, Hoss.
All right, thank you, Hannah.